Harry and Meghan host a big Time 100 event.
We're good. There's a lot of stuff to be focused on, a lot of work. But as Meghan quite rightly said, this is an opportunity to spend more time as a family than we probably would otherwise.
The Queen steps out for her first public royal engagement since March as Kate and William play a friendly game of Pictionary.
Oh, is it a wedding?
No.
Passing?
Is it a birthday?
A birthday.
Yes.
Yes! Good job!
Plus, Robert Lacey, author of Battle of Brothers, breaks down his bombshell book.
The obvious person to create or encourage a reconciliation is Charles. He hasn't come into the picture so far as we know so far.
We've got that plus so much more in today's Royally Us. Hello to our fellow royal lovers and welcome to Royally Us. I'm Christina, that's Molly, the host of the Diva Behavior Podcast. Hi, Molly.
Hi, Christina. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Pretty good.
Oh, I'm so excited for everybody to watch our interview with Robert Lacey coming up. Of course, everybody's talking about this new book, Battle of Brothers, and he is here to break it all down, and he's got a lot to say.
Yes, that book was such a good read. I read it all in one weekend because it was just so juicy.
So juicy. We highly recommend that everybody goes out to get it. But before we talk about the book, we have to talk about our royal watchers, our royal viewers who had a lot to say about last week's show. So let's kick it off with Renee. Talking about Meghan, says that she wasn't bullied, she was criticized, and instead of looking to herself to see how she could change and adapt and learn from her mistakes, she turned it into everyone else's fault and bolted. I'm no fan of Camilla, but she underwent a hammering by the press and the public for years, kept her head down, said nothing, and came out the other end. That takes character, something Meghan is lacking. I have to admit, it was very hard to pick some comments this week because it's interesting that we were talking all about bullying last week and people still have a lot of hate for Meghan.
Yeah, I mean, I think once we get into a place where we're saying how women should deal with being hammered by the public, like we're already losing.
Yeah, no, totally.
I think it's really unfortunate that both Camilla and Meghan have dealt with so many negative opinions coming their way. And, I guess it is maybe something where you should look to yourself and see if you're bringing it on, but also at the same time, you can't control that. So,
right. Oh, so much hate. All right. Next one goes to 2395, says, thank you, ladies, for being completely impartial and for not failing to highlight certain necessary points. You two are sadly rare amongst reporters on this seriously unfortunate saga. Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you. It's very dramatic.
Yeah. We definitely do. But yes, keep all your comments coming. We love reading what you guys have to say and want you to keep subscribing. So keep doing it. All right. So let's get to our royal roundup, our royal news of the week. And we have to talk about Harry and Meghan, who hosted this big Time 100 event. This is their big public hosting event for the very first time. And they sat down with leaders from every field to spotlight solutions and encourage action. Take a look.
I'm sorry to hear that you're still receiving hate mail. I know we have shared experiences in being in interracial marriages and, raising small children who are of mixed race.
So yeah, they spoke to Alexis Ohanian, who was, of course, Serena Williams' husband, who Serena is very good friends with Meghan as well.
Yeah, I love that. I'm sure they all enjoyed getting some drinks afterward and
yes. Some social distancing drinks. Yeah, but definitely they had a lot to say. It was, I feel like this is something that they're probably going to do more and more and more, these hosting opportunities, because I'm sure that they got paid a lot of money to do so.
Right. And it seems like they are really making this issue of social media negativity their big issue of 2020 right now. It's something that keeps coming up for them again and again and again. And it seems like, at least they know the people like Alexis Ohanian who can make a difference with this kind of thing. So maybe it will lead to some sort of change.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely seems like that's the platform that they're kind of riding, and it's an important one. So, and they know firsthand what it's like to be bullied online, like they've said. Well, shortly before this event that they hosted, they actually released a rare portrait, but it was a certain piece of jewelry that was getting a lot of attention, right?
Right. This Cartier tank watch that Meghan was wearing, people are pretty sure that it's Diana's tank watch because Meghan also bought herself a Cartier tank watch after Suits got renewed for its third season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's got so many tank watches, we can't even keep track. But
must be nice.
yeah, I think it's really cool that she wore this in the photo because it sends such a message. She, Jackie O famously always wore a Cartier tank watch. Diana always wore hers, obviously. So she's sort of saying, this is our first portrait outside of the royal fold, and this is who I'm aligning myself with, is these women who were once part of big institutions and now are no longer. So I think there was a lot of meaning in that.
Definitely. And she's worn Diana's jewelry in the past too. I mean, her engagement ring has some stones from Diana as well.
Right. So she has always got that. She's always carrying that with her, which is really cool.
Yeah. And the pose that they did kind of remind me of their engagement photos a little bit. She loves sitting in between his legs and kind of looking up at him. So yeah, I think definitely some similar vibes.
That's so true. And it was interesting, her face isn't facing the camera, because I remember with their Christmas photo last year, some people were giving them flack because allegedly her face was the only one fully in focus. So I guess maybe they must have heard that criticism a little bit, or maybe not. I don't know. It's just interesting to compare the two photos.
I would love to see some outtakes. All right. Well, Kate and William were also having some fun this week and took some time out of their busy schedules to play a little game of Pictionary. Take a look.
We want to play a little game with you. So the game is called Pictionary.
We'll give it a go.
Oh, is it a wedding?
No.
Passing?
Is it a birthday?
A birthday?
Yes.
Yes! Good job! That's a really hard one.
I'm very glad you guys are drawing and we're not having to draw.
Are you able to see?
I'm getting closer and closer to the camera. Is it meant to be
cricket?
Is it cricket?
Yes! Good job!
Very good.
I love this. This is so cute.
Yeah, it's really sweet. I think it's a year since the last time they were in Pakistan, right?
Yep, a whole year. So they played some Pictionary with some schoolgirls, and they actually did pretty well.
Yeah, it was fun to watch the drawings. And when one of the girls asked William if he was good at drawing, he sort of froze, and Kate was like, he just doesn't practice enough.
Yeah.
So that was really good save.
Yes, I would love to see a game of Pictionary in their home. I wonder how that would be.
Oh, yeah, that would be so cute.
Yeah, so cute. And they looked great. And then speaking of people that are looking great, Queen Elizabeth stepped out for the very first time for her first public appearance since March. And she attended an event with Prince William.
Well, no one knows what's going to come next. I think.
Yes, it was a really interesting choice for an event. They were learning about chemical weapons, and neither of them had a mask on. It was definitely...
Yeah, I was thinking that too. And they were pretty close to people, and they did not have masks on, which is kind of alarming because she's 94 years old. And, maybe everybody was tested before they were there, so they knew going into it that nobody had it, but still.
Yeah, it was an interesting choice. I mean, what is the harm in wearing a mask in the photo and just kind of setting an example?
Right. And I would love to see Queen Elizabeth's mask game, because I feel like she's going to be very color coordinated and she's really going to bring it. But yes, I was very surprised that she wasn't wearing a mask.
Yeah, I also really liked how when the man was explaining what they do at the facility in the video, she sort of wasn't paying attention and was just watching someone playing with a dog.
Right. Yes. She's like, oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, it was very on brand for her.
Yes. I also loved when she was driving away, it's protocol, William had to bow to her. And there's a great photo where she's just smiling and waving to her grandson. And it was really cute. And because you don't really see them doing one-on-one events together. So this was kind of a rare thing as well.
Right. And Robert Lacey's book gave us such great insight into their relationship and just how close of a bond they had, which I kind of knew before, but I didn't realize the extent of it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, he explains that, she was there for him pretty much from the beginning. I mean, and especially after Diana's death, and she really helped him kind of understand, this is his privilege and this is the life that he was kind of born into, and this is what's going to happen in the future. So she's definitely been there for him throughout every kind of milestone in his life. And, it's a great relationship that they have.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
It really is. Okay, well, the Queen also revealed a brand new official Canadian portrait, and she also wore some jewelry with some royal significance, right?
Yes, she was wearing a suite of jewels. It was a necklace, earrings, and 2 brooches that were given to her by her father, King George VI, and they're diamond and sapphire. And it was a really sweet thing for the photographer to highlight. Obviously, it means a lot to Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. I love that she gave a nod to her dad, and she looks beautiful. I mean, she really does. She looks fantastic. For 94, she really does look absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and it makes me want to up my jewelry game and start wearing brooches and stuff. It's perfect for a Zoom call,
It really is. I know, because you run out of things to wear, and I'm just wearing a t-shirt. I'm like, I'll throw on a necklace. I'm running out of things. All right. Well, Princess Beatrice also opened up about what it's like to wear her grandmother's wedding dress. I love this because obviously this was such a huge deal. The dress was absolutely beautiful, and she was just as excited.
Yes, she said it was an honor to wear that dress on her wedding day, and it is such a gorgeous dress, and she is doing a little free PR for Windsor Castle because it's on display there until November 22nd, which I still need to get out there and see it because I'm dying to see this dress. It was like one of my favorite royal wedding dresses ever, I think.
It really was. She did such a beautiful job kind of making it her own, and was definitely not something that anybody expected. So she looked beautiful, and like you said, it's on display. So if you're out there, definitely take the trip to Windsor and check it out. All right. And then now it is time to spill the royal tea. And we're getting a lot of information, a lot of back and forth. Is Harry going back to London around the holidays? Is he not? Is Meghan going? What's going on? I don't know. I mean, we're getting reporting that they are going back, but then there's some other people saying that he's not.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, they didn't spend the holidays with the royal family last year because it was sort of the height of their dramatic moment of sort of not having the best energy going on, according to the various books that have come out this year. Mm-hmm. But they also have to be in the UK in January if Meghan's court trial, Meghan's court case goes to trial. So I think that is going to be a big deciding factor too, because if they were to come for the holidays, you have to stay inside for 2 weeks in the UK. And then I guess they would probably have to stay for the whole month or something.
Probably. But isn't that sad though, that they would have to come back for her court date and not for like a family gathering? That makes me so sad. Like, I really hope that, that he does come back with or without Meghan, and they kind of put this behind him, because as Robert says in our interview, they have so many events coming up next year with Princess Diana's statue unveiling, the Queen's birthday, that they're going to have to see each other if everything is lifted, if the COVID restrictions are gone. They're going to have to bury the hatchet, because people will see, and people are going to read into this body language that they're going to have and see if are they really on good terms or not.
Yeah, they should probably rip the Band-Aid off sooner rather than later, because like you said, everyone is going to read into it, and there's going to be a million articles about, what their elbow placement means on the walk from the car to the front door, So yeah, it seems like something they should probably just get over with.
I think so. I think the Battle of the Brothers needs to maybe end, but not before we talk to Robert Lacey about his new book, because he's going to help us break down all the royal rules. Like we said, he wrote this bombshell book that everybody is talking about, and we were lucky enough to sit down with him recently, and he gave us insight on how the rift began, if George knows if he's going to be king, and what it will take for these two to get back on track. Take a look.
So how did the Battle of the Brothers begin? And in your opinion, who's at fault?
Molly, the whole point of the book is that you can't really say that one person is at fault. We're dealing here, as I say, with a fallible system. And to get on to personalities, we're dealing with fallible individuals, human beings. I mean, they're not perfect. Fast forward to Meghan and this dynamite explosion into his life, this extraordinary woman that I look forward to talking to you about. She makes him realize what's wrong with this. Harry is very, very keen. He's gone on record as complaining about this word Mexit. He says it wasn't Meghan who made the decision to leave, and we'll accept that. That's what he says. But there's no doubt that she helped formulate his thinking. and gave him what is effectively a new identity. He was no longer the court jester. He was in sort of monarch in his own right. I mean, those two, after their wedding, Meghan and Harry became royal rock stars in Britain, eclipsing in many ways the rightful heir and his wife. And I found no evidence that, reliable evidence that William was jealous of this or resented this, but certainly people inside the royal system said, this is not as it should be. Harry and Meghan should know their place. And that was when the modern rift started.
So in the book, you say that William knew pretty early on that he was going to be king. Do you know if Prince George is aware of that?
Molly, what a shrewd question. Now there you've got, if you wanted to pursue that, I think it's a little scoop that so far as for a start, we know that William has actually spoken about this. And if you go back into the clips, you'll see he said, no, I don't want, he said words to the effect that he doesn't want George to be burdened by this anxiety or responsibility at an early age as he was. And he suggests that he was just told it rather casually, wasn't prepared for it properly. And I have it on what is called good authority, that when little George posed for that photograph last January, it was released in January, he posed for it in December in the throne room at Buckingham Palace. At that stage, he did not know he was there as a future king. I am told, on what we call good authority, that he was told, well, we're showing our support for Gangan. That's the name for the Queen. We want to show how much we love her at Christmas time and so on. Now, I can't be sure of that, but what we do know is that Prince William has never released the fact of what he has told George. I would imagine that now George is going to school, even with COVID and so on at the moment, and is mixing with kids in the playground, that his parents have prepared him for it, because if they haven't, he's going to get told it at school. Right. But I can say there's very good, Kensington Palace won't comment on this, but though you can try if you like. Perhaps you should if you're going to publish anything about it. But definitely, last December, whatever it was, the 18th, he didn't know at that point that he was standing there as the future King George VII in the throne room.
I mean, do you think that too much damage has been done? And what would it take for the brothers, and now you say, the Battle of the Palaces, what would it take for them to get back on track?
I would hope that the relationship between Harry and his father, which remains quite close and warm, as indeed is his relationship directly with the Queen, that might be some way ahead for reconciliation. I mean, the obvious person to create or encourage a reconciliation is Charles. He hasn't come into the picture so far as we know so far. It's very interesting, and as I reveal this in the book, having spoken to his brother, William, having spoken to Harry about his reservations, and got the brush off, he then turned to their uncle Charles, Diana's brother. And it's interesting, of course, that it was the Diana side of the family he turned to and not to the father. Right. But I understand that, that is one possible channel for reconciliation. And I would hope that, I don't claim to know everything. I'd rather hope that behind the scenes, Charles is at work mending the fences, building the bridges.
I mean, you do talk about in the book that, Diana really, taught them to talk things out when they had a problem. What do you think Diana would think about what is going on, how this is all playing out in the press, and would she be appalled by their behavior?
Well, this is all hypothetical, right, and authors, we're not supposed to say imagine, But in fact, I address this on the last page of the book. I say, I mean, I would say that if Diana was still alive, this would not have happened. I think she would have exercised a mentoring that could have avoided this. Although, maybe that's a dangerous prediction to make, because, there were things about Diana that set her at odds with the British royal family, just as Meghan has come at odds. But, the very last words in the book are, if Diana were alive now, surely she would say, it is time to end the social distancing.
Such an interesting read. Like we said, we loved every single minute of this. It's definitely a lot of information and kind of gives you an insight into both sides of things.
Yeah, it really does. And it just sort of really lays out how things got to this point, because to the rest of us, it looked like it sort of came out of nowhere, because I guess we didn't want to believe the rumors that the brothers weren't seeing eye to eye. But when you read the book, it's like, oh, this has been a long time percolating.
Yeah, it's been bubbling up for a really long time, and then just the lid kind of just came off. So like we said, hopefully they will get back on track, because nobody wants to see a feuding family.
Right, and I just want the cousins to play with each other.
I know. Think of all the play dates they are missing out on.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to our royal history moment of the week. And we are learning that Queen Elizabeth made a rule before they tied the knot, right?
Yes, this is hilarious to me.
I know.
She told Prince Philip that he had to quit smoking for them to get married. And he said, okay, but he didn't do it until literally the day they got married. He quit cold turkey.
He waited till the very last minute. But the Queen actually had a very good reason, because as we know, her father died due to smoking.
Yeah, that was, I think that leaves an impression on you. And he died young. She didn't expect to become queen in her 20s. She thought that he was going to live a long life. So I think, that was, for him, for Prince Philip, it would have been hard to say, no, I don't care how you feel about that. So, he took one for the team.
He did. Well, clearly it worked out. I mean, he's 99 and still in good health. So
yeah. And how long did he smoke for? Apparently he was a heavy smoker.
I'll have whatever they're having, because it seems to be working fabulously.
It must be the lunchtime champagne.
It must be. Totally. All right, before we wrap up, we have to check in on our pint-sized palace, our royal kiddos. And Meghan recently spoke out about wanting to make the world a better place for Archie. Take a look.
It makes you so concerned for the world they are going to inherit. Right? And so the things that you're able to tolerate on your own are not the same that you are going to put your child in a position of vulnerability for. You go every single day, how can I make this better for him? How can I make this world better for Archie? And that is a shared belief between my husband and I.
Well, no surprise there that she wants to, make the world a better place for her son.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's a nice sentiment. And she also said that she doesn't have any social media, and that she hasn't since she deleted her personal account. So I'm a little confused by that.
Right. So how do you know you're being bullied if you don't have an account, or what people are saying, unless people are telling her? But you know what? I don't know if I believe that. I think maybe she has like a fake account and just kind of goes on to see what people are doing. Because remember, there were, back, I think when she first became a member of the royal family, a lot of people were saying that maybe she was controlling the Sussex royal account.
Yeah, it was very much in her voice, which we all know because of the tag, because of the blog she had. And the other thing that's really interesting about this narrative that she and Harry are sort of building is, we see their interviews and their Zoom calls on social media. That's really how they get disseminated. So it's going to be interesting to watch them sort of walk that fine line of talking about bullying on one hand, but also the fact that they need social media in order to stay top of mind for everybody. This is the conundrum of social media in general, I guess.
It really is. Yeah. You can't win, can't lose. It's like, it's very, very, it's like you said, it's a fine line to kind of walk. So they're trying to figure that out, and they're making it work for them. And each day they're making it a better place for their son, or at least that's what they hope for.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't mind seeing more pictures of Archie on social media.
It's been so long. I feel like we say that every week. Give us something. He's
the only baby who I want to see more pictures of on Instagram.
Give us more. All right, well, that's it for this week's episode of Royally Us. Make sure to check in every Wednesday at 10:30 on Us Weekly's YouTube channel. Keep commenting, keep subscribing. Molly, thank you so much.
Thank you, Christina.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.